Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, we're recording. What are we talking about today?
What do we want to do? We want to go into California, finish it off, part two,
Sure.
or there's another thing today that I was out driving around and I saw Keeler Street, and it
Mm.
reminded me of good old Keithler Street. Growing up on Keithler
What's it?
Street.
We walk down every day. I have returned full circle.
Yep. Is that where the bus stop is?
Yeah. Well,
That's
no, the bus is right in front of our house, but we walk down. I mean, you know where we live, right?
Yep.
It's we at the end of Water Street,
Yep.
so it's right there.
Yep. Nope. It's yeah. Was that two streets?
It's literally a
So yeah.
2-minute walk
So I was thinking.
to where we grew up.
Yeah. And growing up,
The streets look different.
yeah. What's the street that
One thing about Keeler Street, Spice, where they have the firehouse.
So that's Spice Street, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bickett and I, where he lived his house there on Keithler, we would hit golf balls at the fire department because his backyard was huge, and we would just tee up and see if we could hit the fire department because there was no windows in the back. It was just concrete blocks. But no,
it was back in the day. It was an old, dilapidated concrete block, shitty building. Now it is a palace of firefighting. It is a huge. It's like 5 years old, brand new. Spanking new fire palace.
yeah, it looks. Well, Mount Orab is a force of nature anyway now, so.
Force. We have the only hospital in Brown County, so and every ambulance from every small town drives by my house.
So
Sirens on.
So General shut down?
Yeah, they shut down in 2011.
Holy fuck.
There's a couple different places that came in to try to run it, like out of state places. A place from Boston they came in and tried to run it. And then there was a group of doctors that bought it. There was a place called Southwest that bought it. It kept changing hands, and everybody knew it was just a piece of shit. And it just went under. Now it's a drug treatment facility, I believe.
Yeah. Well,
which we need out here.
Yeah, makes perfect sense for being there.
We need it out here because this is what happens out in the country with drugs. You fight. It's like fighting a fire. You fight a fire here, and it pops up over here. Fight a fire over here, it pops up over here. So you got heroin, we get the heroin. And everybody switches to meth. The meth goes up. So then you fight meth, and then everybody gets something else. It's a dog chasing its tail type of thing.
Yeah. I don't know if my.
But anyway, Keithler Street. What was you saying about that?
Well, it was just remembering all the shit from all that. So is Moore's Delicatessen still there?
No, gone. That's gone. I'll take some pictures of you when we take a walk next time. So where Moore's that alleyway. Remember the alleyway? Yep. Moore's that alleyway, and then pizza place.
Geppetto's.
And then there was a shitty little gas station on the corner.
Yeah, corner.
All that got flattened, and they built a brand new another marathon. Mt Orab has 1, 2, 3, I think 5 marathons. We are a marathon community.
That's definitely because there's the one by the McDonald's.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's one by McDonald's. There's one out there by Arby's.
Yeah, and then there's the one I worked at.
Yep, and then there's so what is it? What are we up to? 3.
Yeah, and then the one across the street.
3. One across the street, 4. Then the one on the corner, the new one. That's 5. And then Hauser's, I believe, is a marathon. 6. We love marathon.
Motherfucking Monopoly.
Marathon oil dog.
Yeah, but Moore's Delicatessen, which was like the best, because I remember going in there as a kid with $5, like during the summertime after we would you like go and find bottles and cans and crush rocks into cans to try to make them as heavy as possible. Shout out Dusty Fowl for that
Dusty
trick.
Fowl.
Just add a few little rocks in there and crush them. Gives you extra weight.
A little bit won't hurt.
Nope. He worked there too. I remember he worked up there in Georgetown at that place.
At the Brown County Recycling. Yeah.
And
you can't talk about Moore's without giving Jeff Stroop a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely.
He worked there forever when we were kids.
Well, and it was all those old like places that you would go, and we would buy shit for prizes and stuff when we were kids, and it was like the little things of cotton candy and everything. Like again, we talked about before, the Chick-a-Sticks and all that shit. But we would buy so much shit, and you would go to the very back to the pop coolers, and you would have to slide them open and get the glass bottles of Pepsi.
Oh yeah,
and they
cold,
so cold, and it had the opener right there on the side. You opened it right fucking there.
Do you remember back in that back room of Moore's where, like, the first arcade that we got to get, they put, like, Galaga and Centipede back there?
Yeah.
Bro, we were up there every chance we could get. We live like, a minute walk from there, just right up the alley in the back door at Moore's. I remember one time I went to get, by myself, a 6-pack of Pepsi bottles.
8-pack.
Moore's. Mom gave me
8-pack.
It was an 8-pack?
Yeah.
Yeah, a carton. Or whatever. A carton. Yep. I got one of them, went and paid for it. I got on my bike, and I fucking dropped it, smashed them all. I was like, I'm fucking done. I'm done. So I went into Moore's in the back door, popped the new one, and walked right out of it. I think this is the first time I've ever admitted to. Sorry, Betty. I'm sorry, Johnny. I'm sorry, Jeff Stroop.
Yep.
I stole from Moore's when I was 8 years old.
Yeah, I never could say I stole from Moore's ever.
But Moore's was fantastic, like deli food for like the dudes that worked at Millicron or
and they would.
What's the other factory?
The Bun Factory.
The bunghole factory. Millicron
Bunt.
And the Bunt
hole.
They made wood.
Uncle Charlie
worked
there.
Chopped up wood.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
And it's funny because,
yes,
I for years I never knew where he worked, and then they're like, "Oh no, he just works in Mt Orab," and I was just like, "What? Know that? That's weird." But no, we had Moore's Delicatessen, and the thing I probably remember the most buying there was those fucking square pizzas, square frozen pizzas, like you would get at school. And it was like one of the first things.
Good as hell, yeah.
Because you would buy it and put it in the microwave there and have it on like the paper plate, and you left, and you're eating it outside, and it was just like school pizza, but it was like 50 cents or something. And it was delicious. Everything was delicious back then. So we had Moore's Delicatessen, which was great.
Party place.
Well, no, Dunn's. That's always remembered as Dunn's.
Yeah.
Dunn's first until the fire.
Until the fire.
And then after the fire, it became Party Place.
Party place. Who was that? That one? It burnt down. They were sifting through the remains and getting old liquor and beer.
I thought it was a Boothby, but maybe I don't think it was.
I'm not sure who it was. There's some kid that went through and got that liquor and drank it and got all fucking super sick because the liquor got all hot in the fire.
Yeah, so it was like
they're drinking burn up liquor.
Yeah, it was like strychnine. You're drinking strychnine, and
like some Ricky from Trailer Park type shit.
It was because they were either behind the dumpster or in the dumpster, like drinking that shit. And I remember the ambulance and everything. But
dumpster beers.
Dunn's and Party Place was great because we were in that era where mom would give you $1 to go there to get her cigarettes. and they would sell it to you, and because they knew you're getting your mom's parliaments, so everything is fine.
We'd be 8 and 6 years old and walk up there and get smokes, and people that I know that that are our age, like, you guys bought smokes for your cigarettes. I'm like, it's for your parents. I'm like, all the time we bought smokes.
All the time.
Mom was talking about the other day.
Yep.
She was talking about the other day. She's like, you guys, we would just give you money. They knew, you're just running an errand for us.
Yeah, that wasn't anything. They knew what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't like we were smoking them.
No, it was.
8-year-old didn't smoke on parliaments.
No. Fuck that recessed filter. If I was going to smoke, it was going to be, filterless.
Camel. I'm going to smoke Camel Wides.
I did smoke Camel Reds. That was my jam back in the day.
Yeah. I like Camel Wides for some reason. They're just big, fat cigarettes.
Well, and they came in 25 packs.
Yeah,
they weren't 20. They came in 25s, which is funny because that's what cigarettes up here in Canada all come in 25s.
What is that shit? Metric or something?
I don't fucking know. It's $22 for a pack of cigarettes up here.
Oh, so that's not metric.
That's not metric. Yeah.
Oh, some shit there's some kids show that Yuli. I think it's Elmo. Elmo was like, "Oh, that's not sharing." He's trying to teach kids to share, and Yuli goes around when he don't share shit, and he's like, "Oh, that's not sharing." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit, asshole.
Yep.
You don't share anything."
Yeah.
So good God, get him to sleep.
Yeah,
that's why we're late tonight.
Yeah, it's always the worst. I remember my toddlers; they were fucking terrible. But
did your kids go to sleep pretty easy?
Nope.
Or were they rough?
Madrid was the biggest cock block in the history of cock blocks. Like,
dude, it's fucking something in our DNA that the children that we create. Ooh.
And he would look at me and just smile, like, "Yep, I ain't sleep yet, motherfucker." And I was just like, "I hate you so much."
Dude, Towns would physically fight me probably for 2 years, from like year and a half to 3.5. We would just throw the fuck down every night just to go to sleep. I'm like, it's sleep.
Yeah.
It's good. Do it.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I'm not making you eat your vegetables. It's fucking sleep. Yeah. It's good.
His brother is the same, but worse. Oh, God.
Well, when we lived...
you look at pictures. I'm 47, going to be 48 soon. You look at pictures of me 8 years ago, before having children. I look young for my age. Now, man, I'm fucking... Woo, it's all catching up at once.
And it's funny because if you look at, like... If I remember people at 47, 40, 45, 47, whatever years old, like mom and dad or, people their age, and you're like, oh, yeah, they're aging motherfuckers. When I look at our generation, it's like, no, I don't feel like it's, oh, look how old we look. I don't look old. I don't feel old.
You still got you got no gray in that beard.
Oh,
how the fuck is that
there's
happening?
White. There's definitely white on the edges.
Dude, my beard, I didn't have gray to white. I just went straight to white.
Yeah. That's
straight to white.
That's us gingers. That's just what happens. we don't hit gray very often. It just goes boom, white.
Yep. Straight to white.
Yep. So
straight to white. Oh God. What else is going on? What else are we thinking about? Oh, I was flipping through some old memes today. I came across that meme. I wish once I edit this, I'll share it at this point. That meme of the black guy on the plane with Christopher Clem.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Oh,
remember that when I found that meme? So Christopher Clem is a dude that we worked with in California. Will you please explain to the fine people out there about Christopher Clem?
Christopher Clem was someone who was not disabled. He was not disabled. No. I would personally have my own things I would call him, but disabled was not one of those. He was a little slow, I would say, and he was a very distinct personality. He was a man who kind of looked just like John Malkovich. He
John Malkovich with got hit in the head with an autism hammer.
Yes, and he would talk like this, yeah, and like very interesting character.
Very childlike.
Very childlike,
but very intelligent. He knew a lot of facts.
He knew.
And he had a lot of ideas.
And he hated Ronald Reagan. Hated Ronald
Reagan. Who doesn't?
So Chris, and this was our second time around in California, and like we'll get to that, but just he as a character, there was no one like him, and
no.
He had this plan, and like I think we used to have someone shared it somewhere years ago about it's like his 99 things, like 99 problems, but building a train around the world.
But a bitch ain't one.
Yeah. But he wanted to build a train. Like if he was president, I think he said the first thing he would do is what Nebraska, like
he wanted to put the capital of America in the geographical center of America.
Yeah, that was the one thing.
That was one of his things. Which is very 1800s thinking, like you know, like you look at like in Ohio, or it's a lot of states. Like, why the fuck is
Sacramento,
this
right?
Capital. Yeah, I'm like, because it was a compromise. They put it in the center of the state because motherfuckers travel by horse to get there. It's got to be centrally located. So Christopher had that very fucking same idea.
And I can't even think of what he had. It was like Des Moines, or it was a weird capital. But he wanted that as a.
But if you look it up, it's the exact geographical center of America.
And he also wanted to ban the term. What was it? Special Olympics. He wanted to ban the Special Olympics because there was no such thing as a handicapped person.
No, he wanted to ban the word autistic, autism, anything autistic. He wanted to ban the word retard. He wanted to ban all these words. Hey, maybe he's got his agenda working for him nowadays.
It might be. But Chris was like just... I was there, and he lived near us when I was there the second time, and we bought these Capri Suns, and we had some out on the deck of our little wob, and we hear a knock at the door, me and my girlfriend at the time, and she opens it, and he goes, "Excuse me, Miss Molly, may I have a Capri Sun?" And she's just like, "Sure." So she gives him one, and he goes and he leaves, and then he comes back 10 minutes. "May I have another Capri Sun?" And I out to the door and I said, "No, you can't. Go home."
It's like feeding a stray dog.
It was and he would come back all the time after that. "Miss Molly, can I please?" It's like, "Oh, Chris, just stop." But our parents actually visited Yosemite when Tim was living out there, and they took they had a big bus ride or an open cab,
like an open air, yeah,
open air tour of Yosemite Valley, and they go up into the sequoias and stuff like that. And Chris was actually on that, and when we were talking to Dad about it later, he was just like, "There's some crazy motherfucker had a wolf mask on," and it was just like, "Yeah, that's Chris. Chris had a bear mask and a wolf mask.
He had a bunch of masks, and he would wear them, and he would become whatever mask he was wearing. If he had a bear mask on, he would growl like a bear, become the bear. If he had a wolf mask on, which was awesome, he would ow like a wolf. I mean, he was a special guy. He had some racial ideas. Remember that? He wasn't too fond of brown or darker people.
No.
So he spent some time in Utah I think before he came to California, and he was around like some of those type of thinking people, so he would adapt some of their ideas. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
it was unfortunate that people like that can pick up other people's
Yeah,
beliefs so much. But Mr. Clem
I
was
can never watch. I can never watch the movie Snowpiercer without thinking of our man Chris Clem. I'm like, he would love this movie, Snowpiercer, a train that goes around the world and never stops.
yeah, they all freeze and die. That's but he was one of the more interesting characters out in Yosemite, and he was just he was out there. But I think the last time we were talking about Yosemite was when we talked about our jobs as night cleaners, and
Oh
the
yeah,
cast of characters that was the night cleaning crew, the old Jerome and Rich and Tim and I and Steve, and the other two bosses we had at that place was the two chefs, and one of them was a big 6'4" ex-Marine Hispanic guy named Frank.
Frank, and you couldn't even pronounce his last name. He had an Aztec last name.
And he was
It
a
was like
badass.
Tamaulipas or some shit. Yeah,
Yeah, he was awesome. And
he was
he
a
took
recon marine.
he took the shine to Tim immediately from being a former Marine. And like our first month there, he would be like bringing us prime rib and like leftover shit like that. And like, here, you guys can have it. And then like, Steve and Jerome would be like, oh, thanks. He'd be like, not for you. And it was just like, oh.
He hooked us up.
Then our other chef we had there was Scarecrow.
Scarecrow,
Another
Oakland.
former Marine.
Represent Oakland, dog.
Yep. And he took care of all the gambling there, all the football and all that stuff. That's
Oh yeah, he was our bookie.
yeah, and he was good. I got into it every time, but he was the one who would take the money. And
yeah. Scarecrow was awesome.
yeah,
Frank was awesome. Remember throwing parties out there, like at the Cedar Lodge, that party
yeah,
that we had. So we went in with a bunch of other people and rented this basically like half this hotel, the pool, the hot tub, the suites at this hotel. And we got a bunch of liquor. Me and you got all the liquor. Remember that was our part of this business.
Well,
thing, and we charged like $10.
Well,
my
my favorite part about it was it was our party, partly our party, but I didn't put a dime into it. I remember they had someone at the door who was collecting.
Took the money, yeah,
and we just kind of looked at him like, yeah, right, I'm gonna pay you
the
money.
Fuck out of
fuck
the way.
you. And no, I had gone to Fresno also with old Bingo, who we talked about before. I'd gone to Fresno with her, and we picked up even more liquor. And it was kind of her birthday party. And old Christophers.
Yeah, Cocaine Chris.
Cocaine Chris, yeah. I think it was
Cocaine Chris.
Yeah, that's kind of how it started, was with those two. It's going to be their big birthday party, blah blah. We all just kind of got into it.
She had a major crush on that dude. He didn't know she existed.
Nope, he did not like her one bit.
But Cocaine Chris was 5'5", 140, and he's high on cocaine, and he picked up you when you were passed out. I was like, oh, that's cocaine strings.
Because he was a former helicopter, something in the Army.
I forget. Yeah, he was. He was like our union rep too out there.
Yeah.
But remember, so the next morning, everybody's all fucked up, and we're looking for our roommate Jessie.
Yeah.
Like, where's Jessie?
Well,
because we were kind of looking after her, you know. And she was in a hot tub with some naked fucking creepy older dude. We were like, yo, Jessie, get the fuck in here. And she stands up, full naked, full giganto hippie bush. Big giant hippie bush. And she comes in and we're like, yo, what are you doing? That guy's creepy. Whatever.
Yeah, so the guy.
We went so we went to breakfast. Remember this shit? We went to breakfast at the local diner there with our girlfriends.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish
Well,
the story.
but it was interesting because that night or that morning, that guy just gets out of the hot tub when Jesse comes in, and he walks across,
Dead eyes.
and he picks up a backpack, and he goes off
Mm-hmm.
into the woods, and he's gone. It's just the
Yep.
weirdest fucking thing. So this was the first. It was '98, and
Mm-hmm.
this was in like September, October '98, whenever we were there, and it wasn't a year later. Like we lots of shit happens, but Tim kind of stayed out that way. I come back out the next summer, and Tim picks me up in wherever the fuck we ended up at. I think it was Merced, and we go back to Yosemite, and we stop up for breakfast at the El Portal, and we're having breakfast there, and because it was Molly was with us, that's why I know it was the second time. So Tim and I get up
That's right.
to
Yep.
pay the bill at the bar. And when we come back to the table, there is that same fucking creepy dude from the hot tub staring at our two girlfriends at the table. Like, creepy.
Through the window. Through the window.
So Tim gave the window a nice rap and, like, did the what motherfucker kind of thing. And he's, like, really, like, angry. And, like, fuck you. Come on, motherfucker. So
Oh, at that time, I wanted any excuse to fight that guy.
yeah, and it was you know, it was just one of those situations where something was wrong. You got a very bad vibe from this guy. I got it from the first time. Now this is the second time I've seen this guy, and I saw the work shirt. He had the El Portal, so he worked at the place, and
Cedar
so
Lodge.
in February of '99, three women disappeared from that El Portal hotel, and they were found a week later, murdered in a burned car in the woods. All three, I think the girls were raped. I can't remember. But it was two 16-year-old girls and one of their moms, and one was an exchange student from South American country, I believe.
Yeah. Colombia or something.
Yeah, it was just
Peru, maybe.
it was horrible. Like, so they've been searching for this killer for a really long time. So that happens. It was early July, I think, and at the end of July, I think, is when a second murder happens at the Meadows.
Yeah, up in the Yosemite Institute. That biologist lady.
Yeah,
She disappeared, and he hacked her head off.
He cut her head off, and like he.
It was the dude that we had beef with. His name was Kerry Stainer. He's in jail. He's a serial killer. Remember his brother?
I know my first name is Steven.
Yep, Steven Stainer. He was the kid that was abducted, and he lived his life with a different name.
Yeah, sexually abused for like 10 years.
Sexually abused, yeah. But he came back home to what was the town they lived in? Was it
like when he was
one of those
17, 18, he came back.
Not Merced, what was the other shitty?
Modesto?
Modesto,
he was
that's
Merced.
where they were from, I believe.
It was Merced.
But he came back.
Yeah, they were from Merced.
Everybody loved him. Oh, Steven's back. So Kerry felt, like he got no shine. So he was all mentally ill from that. That was what he was telling people.
Yeah, and
I would have loved to fight him. I love the fight him. We got arrested. Both of us got arrested.
Maybe someone would have been alive.
Energy.
He had a backpack.
He had that serial killer energy. Oh, I could have. You know what? Not like I've never had my ass beat before. I could have took an ass beating and got arrested to get him on the cops' radar.
He had that same backpack because I remember it was like an orange backpack, and I read a story not
He
long
probably had his
ago.
murder tools in
He
there.
did. I read a story about it,
Did
and
he?
he carried
Oh
he
snap!
carried a 45 in that
Ooh.
backpack, and duct tape, a knife, all this shit he carried in this backpack all the time because he kept saying he just always was looking for an opportunity. So I look at our ex-girlfriends there at the time and just go, I remember I remember the one time they went by themselves somewhere, and it was just like,
How
be
did he not take
careful,
them?
it was just like, I don't, they would have been an
One
easy
time,
target, I would think.
easy target. There was one time in the middle of this shit. So it was between when the mom and the two girls got killed, and the Yosemite Institute lady got killed. It was between that time. Me and the girl I was dating, we went to Mariposa or somewhere on that fucked up road, not the Oakhurst road, the fucked up one.
Yep. Yeah.
I think it was Mariposa. We went somewhere to Mariposa, and on the way back, the car broke down in the middle of the fucking night, and we were walking. We had no money. Cars, you know how them roads are. Cars on the side of the fucking road. Who knows it's going to be hit by another car. So we're walking. It's pitch fucking black, dark, in the mountains, middle of nowhere. The closest thing was Cedar Lodge, side of this murder scene not long ago.
Yeah.
So we get up there, and I talked to the dude. I'm like, listen, man, we fucking broke down up there. It's 1 a.m. We got no fucking money. I got like $8. Can I get a room for $8 till the morning? We get somebody to fucking come pick us up. And the dude was cool. He's like, sure. Put us in this fucked up room. I'm like, is this the murder room? I don't even know. Shit, man, it could be the murder room. But it was creepy. Carrie was still working there.
Yep. He worked there until they arrested him.
Yep. That's where they arrested him, I believe.
No, they arrested him after he killed
At a creek.
Yeah, no, a nudist colony.
Nudist colony. Yeah,
he went.
Weirdo.
He
like,
went north.
There was a lady.
Yeah, he went north to that nudist colony. So they would have got him. There was a lady we worked
with. Yeah. There's a lady that we work with, Kim, and she was like, "Oh yeah, he was a cool guy. He's a good-looking guy." All the chicks were like, "Oh, he's a hot dude. Whatever. He's tall. He's in shape, but he's always getting naked, and he's always weirdly naked at weird times and shit. He's like a nudist." I'm like, okay.
You know what? And he was. He was. He was a good-looking guy, and apparently was charming and everything else. But that's so often a serial killer. Like that's like, fuck, ugly guy, not charming. That's me. That's the guy you should be with. But they...
I'm not killing you.
Because it was funny. Years later, like a girl that I was great friends with out in Yosemite, I had big emotions and feelings for. Her name was Maya. And that same morning, I woke up early because I was so hammered. I passed out really early at that party. And when I woke up, I was completely wet. So I went downstairs, and it was a nice suite. So I threw all my clothes into a dryer. And so I'm sitting there in my boxers and my white V-neck shirt. I'm making coffee for all the drunk hippies. And so I'm just sitting there having coffee, sitting there, and I see the girl that Maya was her name, sitting on the floor, sleeping, passed out on the floor. So I just kind of hunkered the table over by her, and I kicked my feet up, and I'm looking outside, and I see Jesse out there with that guy, and I was just like, I don't like this. So years later, I reached out and I found Maya, and we were emailing back and forth, and she said, the thing I remember most about you is at that party, she goes, waking up on the floor and looking up and seeing you just hovering and just protecting. She goes, I just felt safe. I was like, well, you should feel shit because I heard the night before you were in the hot tub with a serial killer. She's like, what? I was like, yep. I said, I heard that, Carrie was there all night, and you were naked in the hot tub with them while I was passed out and didn't get to see any of that. Thanks Thanks, alcohol.
He was fucking. He was stalking his prey, man. He was looking for an easy target.
Yeah, there's lots of easy targets out there, but
Scumbag. I would have taken my chance with him. I think I could have fucked him up.
I think so. I would have taken his backpack away, and I think that would have been the big thing. Get that away.
If we both got on that motherfucker, whoa, Brown County.
It wouldn't have been just. It wouldn't have been just one of us if hitting on the window if he would have said some shit.
Brown County Curb Stomp.
Yeah. I remembered him from the before. I just had very bad vibes. We could have maybe saved a girl's life by fucking that guy up. So it was shit. It was shitty, but
getting arrested. Sure, arrest me.
Whatever. And like when the first time we were out there though is like after we worked for a few weeks and we finally got a week off or 2 days off with each other because there was only 4 of us, so we didn't always have the same days off. So we had a day off where both of us can go. So Tim and I, we borrowed a car and we took to Merced because now we have a little bit of money. Like, not when we first show up there when you're fucking broke as shit and, you know, you're rattling a fucking cup around to get some change from people. But now we have a little bit of money and we don't have to listen to a guy talk about fucking almonds or anything. We have a car. So, beauty. So we went into Merced and we ate some Maria's taco stand because why the fuck wouldn't you? Now you can afford these tacos. Did a little bit of shopping. I think I got a fan finally because I have to have a fucking fan. I had to. And we went and we saw Rounders. We went to the movie theater and we saw Rounders because we became, like, I remember us making a fucking poker table because Tim and I, we
made a poker table.
We threw the beds away, like, first thing. Like the frames, those metal frames. We took them out, just put mattresses on the floor of our tent cabin because we said, "Fuck that shit."
We needed room.
And it was also you move around too much, and it's just squeak, squeak, squeak. Fuck, and it's just like just put them on the ground. It's fine. So we made this board, this Texas Hold'em table, and Tim was Timmy CCP, and I was Matty the Kid or some shit like that, but. I look at it now.
We're teaching hippies how to play. We're teaching hippies how to play Texas Hold'em and taking their money.
Yeah, it was
like what?
It was
like
good
regular
times.
Poker? No, it's not regular poker, hippie. It's just Texas Hold'em. This is before Texas Hold'em was on TV 24/7.
Yep, it was like really its first. Iteration of
my
coming
first
out.
exposure to Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, no, we always just played like 5-card stud or whatever. Fuck.
5-card stud, 7-card, yeah.
But Texas Hold'em, it was a revelation there. But no, we got to see the fucking movie. We got to do all that shit. You know, the other thing that we finally got was a VCR TV.
Yeah.
It actually had the VCR in the TV, and that gave us so much entertainment.
Because there was no cable, there was you couldn't get any television stations. There was no cable, there was no internet. It was just media that you had there, and this was before DVDs, so it was all VCR. And oh man, I think it was the second time you came out there. Remember that? He was an older gay guy.
Well, it was the first
his name
time.
Was Steve too. He was like he was a weird dude, and he had like 1,000 different VCRs that you could come VHS tapes that you could come to his place and rent. He was super creepy with every dude. He was like flaming gay.
Yeah, and that was
remember he had the cameras.
Yeah, they couldn't prove it that it was him.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they couldn't prove it, but it was him because his cabin was like right outside those bathrooms. It was the only place that made sense.
There was like a public shower, like bathhouse, right? Like open showers, public place, and somebody found a bunch of hidden cameras in there. So somebody was filming dudes showering, and Steve was right there.
Yep.
Suspect number one.
He was suspect number one. He was guilty. He had like 6 VCRs. He was so guilty. But at least I remember taking movies from him and be like, yeah, I don't know if I'll ever give this back to you. I don't care. What are you gonna do? You've recorded it and broke the fucking law, stealing it from the FBI, right? So like, fuck you. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I have some other characters out there. Remember that dude Santi?
Well, yes.
Remember that fucker?
Santi was
this dirty little hippie fuck. Like, I was his boss for a while, and I was like, "Yo, where's Santi at?" There's his like cleaning cart. We were cleaning rooms. There's the cleaning cart. Where the fuck is he? I walk up this little hill. I mean, we're in the woods. I walk up this little hill, and he's up this hill, like in a meditative state. He's going, "Ow!" I'm like, "Bro, what the fuck are you on?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just chilling with the wolves, man." I'm like, "All right, make sure you get this room clean."
Fucking Santi. Yes, he was an interesting character there. And then you had old Jed, because remember Jed?
Old Jed.
He was Jesse's. He became Jesse's boyfriend. Jesse's boyfriend.
Modesto trash.
There was lots of that. Santos.
Mario. Yeah, Mario. Santos. Oh, I thought you and Santos were going to fight a couple times.
I hated Santos. I fucking hated it. He was a piece of shit. He tried to look in all the women all the time. He would
It's creepy.
Yeah, the laundromat was in the women's locker room, like in the front, or women's change room, and it was in the terrace. That's where we lived. And you had like a community place. It had men's showers, women's showers, a laundromat, kitchen, communal, like all hippie fucking shit, all hippie living. And he would sit out there and just like, "Oh, I'm just doing my laundry," and like peek into there, and I was just like, you know what? Get the fuck out of here! Like, my girlfriend's in there, or whatever. But he looked like a fucking fat frog, because he had those gross fucking greasy lips all the time, and he was a violent fuck. I know he beat the shit out of his girlfriend all the time.
He did. He was 5'3", 300 pounds. He was a fucking walking pizza oven. He was his race was like Hawaiian.
I'm not sure what he was.
Mexican. I do not.
Indian.
Know.
I don't know.
Like, he was a scumbag.
Native, indigenous.
The first day we were there. Yeah, the first day we were there, we were going to the cafeteria. And we went to grab something, and he got all fucking uppity with us. He's like, you can't get that shit. And I was like, the fuck you can get it. He's like, I sneezed on it or some shit. And I was like, fuck you, I'll sneeze on you. Remember that shit with him?
He was just a fucking dick.
Fuck him. So you weren't the winter that you went back to Florida, I believe, or
I went back
Ohio.
home to Ohio.
So I was out there. I was neighbors with Santos and his girlfriend, who was this big, heavy-set black lady. And that was his girlfriend at the time. And he was beating the fuck out of her. And I rolled up on him a couple times, like, yo, what the fuck? And then when there was one night in the winter, it was like January, it snowed like 5 feet in one night. And I was rolling out there, and there's this path, right? There's a tunnel, basically, a tunnel of fucking snow to get in between places. And I like rolled up to his shit, and I was like, motherfucker, I will dump you in this fucking snow. And you're so short, no one would ever find you.
They wouldn't.
But that same snow, I got super sick, man. And I fucking puked in that snow, and it just melted. There's like a hole of puke that melted down all 5 feet of that snow. And it stayed there for months until April, May, when it melted.
And you,
like, my puke is holding on.
And you got to see like Yosemite in the wintertime. You guys went back. And I never did see it. I was only there. I was there 2 summers. I came back the next summer. And so I never saw it when it was cold, like super cold. Like we stayed like June to November the second time. It was like 6 months the second time.
Yeah.
And
well, that first time we stayed out there, me and you stayed out there till like November, and it was getting. Remember how fucking cold?
Yeah,
it was getting?
we were there like 2.5 months.
We we were outdoor living. I mean, we had some white trash uh, electrical setup that we had. Like, we stole the power from like the 8 closest cabins to our cabin, ran it all to our cabin so we could have heaters and shit in our
Yeah, it was
cabin.
the only way we could do it because our, for whatever reason, tent cabin 69, we should have just fucking moved out. Like, in hindsight, like tent cabin 68, like Jesse and Lizzie's cabin was fine. It never popped. 70 never popped. It was fine, but we decided no, we got to stay in 69. So yeah, we literally ran extension cords and like tore the canvas out and like jacked that shit in, and because it was the only way you could do it. Like, we needed heat, and they wouldn't put us in WAVs because we had already put our notice in saying, yeah, we're leaving mid-November. So they're like, okay, well, housing's not going to put you in a wooden fucking room. You're going to stay in the canvas.
Yeah, a wob is like an actual cabin type thing, like a shed, like living in a shed.
It's a 10 by 10 shed
instead of living in a instead of living in a canvas tent.
Yeah.
Remember that dude Mario?
Mario was awesome, and that was the one person I know that Frank hated.
Yeah, Frank hated Mario. Mario was from Fresno. He was a gangbanger from Fresno.
Yep.
In some kind of Latino gang. He talked about it all the time. He told us all about the crimes that he did and the murders that he did and the drug deals that he did.
I don't know about a lot. I totally believed lots of the stuff. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of the stuff, because he would just tell it and I'd just be like, all right, that happened. I don't disagree. But one of the funnier times was Mario's tent cabin up on the hill, up on the terrace, got raided by a bear.
Oh, yes.
He had a bunch of weed. And the bear found it.
Yeah, and he thought I stole his weed.
Yeah.
Because I was the first one in there after the bear. So a bear ripped through his cabin, the canvas cabin, ripped through the canvas, got in his cabin, found his weed, took his weed, ate all of his weed, and then took the fuck off.
Yep.
And he was like, dude, did you take my weed? I'm like, I didn't take your weed. The fucking bear ate your weed.
And it was so the funniest thing about the bear, like we had bear encounters. I would say almost daily, if not
daily. Yeah, every morning. Yeah, because we came home at like 5:30 in the morning. The bears that was their prime time. They were out doing.
And one of the funnest things to do there was to listen, like when it was late September, all the apples in the apple orchard. When there's a huge apple orchard, that's where everybody parked. It was just the parking lot had apple trees, which was the dumbest thing the park could have had, because these bears would come and eat the rotten apples to get drunk. Like, literally, that's what they were doing.
Rotten, fermenting apples.
Yep.
They would ferment, and the bears would eat fucking hundreds of them.
They would just
drunk,
and
then they would just fucking menace.
They would just destroy cars, just rip doors open,
smash shit, man.
All the time. And like, all they would need to see is any kind of bag in the car, and it was over.
Food bag, any kind of bag.
And it was funny because
we witnessed.
I was the worst. I freely admit. I was kind of not a dick, but I was absent-minded, I would say. Whenever we would go somewhere, if we got food or whatever, I would just throw it on the fucking floor. And like a bag or whatever. And there were so many times when we'd go in the Audi and come back and it'd be like a Taco Bell bag still on the fucking floor. Just totally forget about it. And somehow the bear did not fucking
Bears
come
never
eat.
fucked with it.
Never fucked with the Audi, which was...
They felt pity. They felt pity. They saw the car. They're like, ooh, these motherfuckers are poor.
Yeah, this is an 84 Audi. This ain't a 95 Audi.
Yeah. This car is old. This car's a 5-cylinder. That fucking car, the transmission went out when I was living in Roanoke Park, it was like $700 for a new transmission, which was no, for a new clutch.
Yeah.
New clutch. The clutch went out. It's like $700, and $700 to me would be like asking me for $5 million. You know.
Yeah. At that time,
That's
yeah.
$5 million. I'm like, ooh, okay. So it was footing it everywhere to the shit jobs, working at a duck processing plant, murdering ducks all day long. The only Caucasian working there.
Probably lots of Filipinos.
It was all lots of Filipinos, lots of Mexicans, and they're like, "What are you doing? You making a documentary? You make a documentary on duck farm?" I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'm poor like you."
Yeah.
No. You make a documentary. You write the paper for school. I'm like, no,
I'm poor.
I need a job. I wrote the first time I wrote up there. They're like, "You okay? You work with Hector. He's crazy." I'm like, Hector's fucking crazy. Cool. So I go meet Hector. Hector's the guy who does the murder of the ducks. So they walk in these ducks in this processing line, and my job was to grab the duck by the feet and hang him up, and then Hector would slice and dice. We were processing ducks mainly for Chinese restaurants, so you weren't cutting their heads off; you were cutting their throats. So Hector had to touch. No one else did. Hector had to touch. He would slice their throat perfectly, where they would be dead, and all their shit would be dripping out of them. But I was the guy who had to pick them up, and every fucking duck would fight. They knew it was up. They would fight for their life. So you getting bit 1,000 times. And it was horrible. What's so funny is Yuli is obsessed with ducks. my 3-year-old, he fucking loves it. Like, let me tell you some stories about some ducks.
Don't tell him those stories. Don't tell him.
Because
that was it was a very rough patch. Like when our time was up in the first time in California, we were leaving Yosemite. It was mid-November. Kind of the plan was Tim. He was with a girl, and she was going to get a good job because she had an education and everything else, and we were going to get shit jobs.
Connections, she had connections too.
Yeah, so that was like the plan. Like, oh, we'll go someplace, we get residence, stay in California. Me, I was like, well, I'm gonna head back. I want to go to Florida to either end this thing that I had because I had a girlfriend there, or I just wanted to finish it, be like full circle, be done with it, and then I was going to go back home to Ohio and visit for a bit. Then I was going to come back out. So Tim and Jen ended up at the Del Kawa Hotel. I think you spent a week at a nice hotel first. And
in Fresno. You were there with us in Fresno.
Yeah, the first couple nights.
Weekly hotel in Fresno.
Yeah.
Blackstone Ave. Yeah, because you left from Fresno on the train.
Yep. No, I hit
Fresno
the bus.
is the armpit. Yeah. Fresno
the hottest
is the armpit of the world. So we stayed at like I don't know, some kind of Quality Inn or something, some weekly joint, and then Matt left, and we fucking short on money, but we were like working daily paid jobs here, right? So then I found this place. It is in the fucked up part of Fresno called the Del Kawa. It was a boarding house. It wasn't a hotel. It was a boarding house, but it was like $8 a night. So we roll up there, and like, yeah, we got a room. There's a room with no bathroom. It's a shared bathroom on the floor. It's like old school 1920s. There is no white people anywhere near this joint. Everybody was Latino except one gigantic muscular black guy who had this fucking like 1989 pimped out Chevy Cavalier that had like 5 fucking different anti-theft things on it. And every time a Mexican walked by, it would go all off. So he was always hanging out his window yelling at Mexicans. But we show up, and this lady was like, I would take your license plates off at night and take them in with you because they will steal them. Like, okay, good to know. But underneath it was there's three businesses. There was a little bodega, like a little store, and then there was a laundromat, and there was a nightclub called La Movida, which was like a cowboy Mexican bar. Fucking nightclub. Oh, it was fucking awesome, man. There was knife fights every night in the parking lot. It was fantastic. And I was working construction and with all Mexican guys. I was like, yo, man, I live right above the La Movida. What does that mean? La Movida. And they're like, oh, it means like on the move. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. La Movida. I'm like, on the move. What does that mean? He's like, on the move for pussy. You go on the move for the pussy.
Uh,
But that place, man, the little bodega, it was super hot. And I mean, I was like 175 pounds, uh, thin for one of us, and I had my shirt off, and I'm tattooed, and this Mexican guy comes, "Did you just get out?" And I did. I just got out of the Marines. I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Cool, cool, cool."
he
All
probably
right,
meant
and
jail.
no one fucked with me because after he thought jail, he thought I just got. He's like, "This motherfucker was in jail for meth because I look like a meth dealer." I was playing a gig a couple years ago somewhere around here, and the owner of the establishment was like, "You look like a meth dealer." I was like,
Thank you.
"Thank you." That's what I'm going for. But cool,
But
meth
the
dealer.
Del
Yeah,
Calwa though,
yeah, the Calwa Hotel.
Tim, Tim had some bad times out there, and you ended up in San Fran and homeless for a
Yeah, we
bit.
ended up in San Fran. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's good times. It's good times. So you could camp. The camping you had to pay so much a night to camp, and it sucked. And it was like San Francisco got cold, which was rare, but got cold. We were working daily work, daily pay, and with some like hobo type people, man, alcoholics. You really get to see alcoholism and drug addiction and mental illness
Yeah.
really take root in that community, and there's no way out for those people.
Yeah,
No way out.
and it wasn't funny at all, but actually, so I get back to Ohio, and I have no job, I have no money. I was planning to go back out to California, so Tim actually calls me. It's like, "Do you have any money?" It's like,
Do it.
"No."
It was on Thanksgiving. So
Yeah,
it was on Thanksgiving. I had a check. I had a check for like $900, and I was like, "It's fucking Thanksgiving. I can't cash this check. Can you guys wire me like $50 so I can get some food on Thanksgiving, and then I'll send you the money back tomorrow after I cash this check." And you guys, nobody had any money, so I went to the store and it was Thanksgiving, and I had enough money to buy a piece of dried mango, and that was my Thanksgiving dinner. Whatever year that was, 99,
98,
2000, whatever fucking year
98.
that was.
Because I told
Delicious.
Tim
Delicious.
I had I left my radio and my camera.
That shit got pawned.
So I told him,
Pawned.
I said, "Just fucking pawn that stuff." He's like, "Already did." I was like, he's like, "Your radio, I
Oh,
tried,
shit.
I tried, and it wouldn't work, so they wouldn't take it." Because
It's in Chinatown in San Francisco.
I was like, "Oh," because when I went back
In
out,
Chinatown.
I went back out. You still had it because it didn't work for him that time. I was like, "You just gotta hit it on the sides. It works
You
fine."
gotta hit it right. You gotta Fonzie that shit.
Oh fuck! But
Yeah,
luckily,
that was. I mean, that was suck so bad.
yeah. There's I imagine tons of shit happened during that time, but luckily you had the saving grace of, again, Yosemite. You get a job and a place to live at least, and
I remember setting in Santa Rosa, California, and this is the very first time I heard Dave Alvin's "King of California."
great song.
Remember, you know the song?
Yep.
That's the song that kept me there, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm not giving up." We'll go back to Yosemite for the winter. Called this Heidi. Was it Heidi? Is that
Yep.
HR lady's name? Was like, "Yo, Heidi, you got room for me this winter?" She's like, "Oh yeah, we need people. You can work and do this bullshit." So we rolled the fuck back. Boom, bang, boom.
It was probably
Winter time in Yosemite.
Yeah, it was probably you read more books than any time in your life at that point.
Dude, I read a fucking 1,000 books. So like over the summer, Towns has like a reading contest every summer. You gotta read so many books for the library. I'm like, shit. You better fucking keep reading if you want to catch up with me.
Yep.
I mean, I read every goddamn. Well, we wrote a screenplay that winter via the mail.
Yep.
Me and Matt did. I was trapped indoors, man.
Yep. Onion peels.
It was a good time. Onion pills. We'll talk about that sometime soon. But
Yeah.
I'm glad we got the Carrie Standard shit out, because I was talking to some people I know about it earlier today. They're big fans of like serial killer podcasts and stuff, and they knew who Carrie Standard was.
Yeah,
I was
we
like, yeah,
we
that
intimately
piece
knew
of
that
shit.
fucking piece of shit.
He could have got a brown. He could have got that
Brown
Brown
County
County
beat
Curb
down.
Stomp.
Yeah.
That's what we're naming this episode: Brown County Curb Stomp.
He would have deserved it, and of
We're
course
at
he
an hour.
would. Yeah.
We are right at an hour, so let's stop it now. Thank you for listening, folks.